Something unbelievable happened today.
Whoa!
Deep
What is
inside
this?
an old junkyard,
Rolls-Royce?
hidden under layers of rust, dust, and forgotten metal, we discovered a car that once represented pure luxury. At first glance, it looked completely destroyed. The body was covered in rust. The paint had almost disappeared, and the tires had sunk into the ground after years of abandonment. Most people would walk
This
away
interior's
from
seen
something
better
like
days,
this.
mold and dirt
But not
everywhere.
today.
Dashboard's
Because
caked in
today,
grime. This will be a
we're
tough
bringing
restore.
this machine back to life.
All right, let's see what's
When we
under
opened
here.
the door, a cloud
Whoa,
of
this
dust
engine is a
filled
total
the air.
mess. Look at all that
The
rust.
interior looked even worse than the outside. The seats were torn, the dashboard was covered in dirt. And it seemed like time had completely erased the beauty this car once had. But the real surprise was waiting under the hood.
Whoa,
When we
this
lifted
rust
the
is a lot
hood,
worse than I
we
thought.
saw an engine that
This could
looked
cause some
almost
serious prop
impossible
bumps.
to restore. Rust had taken over nearly every component. Wires were broken. Hoses were cracked. Bolts were frozen
Time to
in
get
place
this beauty
after
clean.
years of corrosion.
There we go, coming
At
off
this
now.
moment, it almost felt like the project was impossible. But every restoration starts with the same step: cleaning. Using high-pressure water, we began removing years of dirt and grime from the body. Slowly, the true shape of the car started to appear again. As the mud washed away, the original lines of this luxury machine began to reveal themselves. Next came the wheels. Each wheel was covered in thick rust and debris.
All right, securing the
With
chains
careful
now.
scrubbing and cleaning,
Lifting it out. Steady
the metal
does it.
underneath slowly began to shine
All right,
again.
lowering her down. Easy
Then
does
it was
it.
time for the biggest
Okay, on
challenge.
the bench. Now to get these
The
bolts
engine.
out.
We carefully removed
All
the
right,
engine
loosening
from the
this
car
main bolt
and
now.
placed it on the workshop
Carefully
bench.
pulling the piston
Piece
assembly
by
out.
piece, every component was taken apart. Rusty bolts were loosened. Damaged parts were removed. And the engine was completely disassembled. This process takes patience. Every small detail matters. Each part was cleaned, polished, and inspected to see if it could be saved, or if it needed to be replaced. Slowly, the engine started to look alive again. Fresh components were
Cleaning the
installed.
new piston thoroughly for a perfect
New
fit.
pistons
Now
were
applying some
carefully
assembly lube.
placed inside the engine
Carefully sliding the
block.
piston into the
Bolt
cylinder.
by bolt, piece by piece, the engine was rebuilt. Meanwhile, the car's body required just as much work. Years of rust had damaged the metal panels. Using sanding tools, we stripped away every layer of corrosion. Welding sparks filled the workshop as damaged areas were repaired. After hours of work, the entire body was finally ready for paint. And this is where the real transformation began. A deep, glossy black paint was carefully sprayed across the entire car. Layer by layer, the surface became smoother, deeper, and more beautiful. Under the workshop lights, the car looked completely different. The rust was gone. The damage had disappeared. And the luxury that once defined this machine was finally returning. Now it was time to put everything back together. The restored engine was placed back into the car. New headlights were installed. Fresh wheels were mounted. And the interior was carefully cleaned and restored. After
Paint
all
is
this
flawless,
work,
no imperfections.
only one question remained.
The reflection is
Would it
perfect.
start? The moment of truth had finally arrived.
Look at the reflections on this finish.
Sitting inside
It's
the
a
driver's
perfect
seat,
mirror-like surface.
we turned the key.
Top
For
quality.
a second, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the engine roared back to life. After years of silence, this incredible machine was alive again. The sound echoed through the garage like a victory. And finally, it was time for the reveal. The once abandoned junkyard car slowly rolled out of the garage. Under the sunlight, the glossy black paint reflected perfectly. What was once scrap had now become a luxury masterpiece again. And that is the true magic of restoration. Turning something forgotten
All right, first start.
into
Here we
something
go.
extraordinary.
Perfect idle. Yes, she's alive. Listen to that purr. All right, let's fire her up. Whoa, what's all that smoke? Here she comes, my restored Rolls-Royce. Look at that shine, a real beauty. Look at this beauty. The sunlight on the paint is just incredible. It's like a mirror, so smooth and flawless. There she is, good as new. A real beauty, isn't she? This beauty is in perfect shape. Let me show you. Under this sunset light, you can see every flawless detail.